Hello everyone, welcome to Mr. Dave's Outdoors Adventures. I'm Mr. Dave, and today we're going to be talking about Pioneertown Mountain Preserve, specifically the Pipes Canyon trail hike that I completed recently. And I also want to talk about some of the gear that I used there. But before I get into any of that, one of the things I did run across on that trail specifically that I talked through quite a bit about during the video is the Rabbit Hemmorhagic Disease. I left a link in my last video. There's several links in this video down below in the description, but I did a little bit of research on this, and what I found out is that there are outbreaks in Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, and what I discovered out on the trail at Pipes Canyon in California. And so it is a virus that spreads from rabbit to rabbit. It only affects the rabbit population, whether that it be domestic or wild. It only affects the rabbits. So humans can't get it. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. But we can carry it, not inside, but outside, like on our gloves or shoes, things like that. So we're able to actually kind of spread it. So we have to take some extra precautions should we run across a dead rabbit out on the trail. But rabbits, when they have this hemorrhagic disease, what happens, they bleed from the nose, the mouth, the eyes, and other orifices. They develop a fever, and generally about 12 to 36 hours after that, they're not going to make it at that point. So the rabbits, they transmit it through the mouth, the nose, the eyes, also some blood-feeding insects can also transmit the disease. But the most common one is orally from the mouth. If you're out on the trail, you have certain responsibilities as a hiker, and this is one of them. That it doesn't happen, often. Depends on what area you're in, I guess. But occasionally you may run across a dead animal, and in this case, in an area that has seen this rabbit hemorrhagic disease, you really need to alert the rangers to the whereabouts of the rabbit or rabbits that have that you've run across. So you can do that by like dropping a GPS pin. If you don't have GPS, then what's the closest mile marker? What's the closest landmark that you can reference, and you can tell the rangers. If you do have to handle a dead rabbit, make sure you use gloves and a shovel, okay? To take care of it. You don't really want to start touching these dead bodies. I mean, no. Use a shovel, use some gloves, and then afterwards, disinfect those gloves, disinfect the shovel, disinfect your shoes, because if that dead rabbit does have or died from that rabbit hemorrhagic disease, then you could carry it and pass it on as you walk around. So be very careful. What I recommend is checking with your state's wildlife department to see if there's any other protocols that you need to follow. They have a wealth of information there. There's a vaccine for this. There's a vaccine, so you can check with your vet to check on the availability in your area. From my understanding, not all areas have the vaccine, so you have to check with your vet to see how you can get it. I left links in the description down below for some more information. There's a link to a cool map I found, and you check it out, because I think the more we know, especially as hikers, even from a beginner's perspective, the more you know what you're getting into, the better it is. So that's enough on that rabbit hemorrhagic disease. I want to talk about the hike itself at Pioneertown Mountain Preserve, the Pipes Canyon Trail. I got there in the morning. It probably was, I don't know, about 6:30, 7 o'clock. The sun was just coming up, and so I was just getting going. The temperature when I started was in the low 50s, and then by the time I ended, it's probably in the mid 60s. So it was very comfortable, larger by far, very, very comfortable conditions weather-wise. And then even when I was walking in, even after the sun did come up, I was walking in the canyon, so it didn't always come up fully. So I was under plenty of shade. I don't think there was ever really any moments. I think I mentioned in the last video that I just caught some of the sun. That was on my way out, so I was almost done. So I don't think there's really any time that I was directly baking in the sun. So it's really good time to go. And then I didn't really see anybody until I got just about to the parking lot. Then I started seeing a few groups coming in. So I had that whole entire trail to myself, and it was just fantastic. So I recommend getting out there early if you can. I think that's going to be better as far as like crowd-wise and things like that. Ton of views on this hike. Again, it's hard to believe. I mean, that whole area from the desert into the mountains, just that whole environment, just fascinating. Great views. You had plants. You had rock outcroppings, you had some water, a little bit of a wetland area. It was just absolutely remarkable. And then especially that one part where the small trees went up over the whole trail. Man, I do want to go back there when it's all in bloom and green and everything. I think that would look really, really cool. But with the time of year I went, everything was barren, but it was just not disappointing at all. That was one of the highlights of the whole hike. There was a little bit of water out on the trail, so I could have filled up my Life Straw bottle. I had it with me. Again, that's one of the items that I always take now. But I didn't need to. It never got to that point. I had a couple bottles of water because I didn't know in the beginning if there's gonna be water there or not. So I was fine there. But if you had to in a pinch and you have some means of filtering the water, there was some a little water source. Don't know how it would be in the summer. I'm sure in the summertime it's going to be extremely hot. So make sure that you plan on those whenever you go, plan on those conditions. But the hike in and of itself, absolutely beautiful hike. Not to be missed if you're in the the Palm Springs, Joshua Tree area. Take that time out of your day and hit this hike. That's the Pipes Canyon Trail. So I tried out some gear on this hike, and again, nobody's sponsoring me for any of these items. These are, again, the items I have. I want to start using these things every time I go out on the trail. I want to try it out. And so I want to give you honest feedback on these items. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm going to give you the honest feedback. So I had previewed a pair of Injinji socks. These guys right here. These are the toe socks, and I have used them a couple times now. And these are the liners, so these are about $11. And I picked these up at REI. They are the toe socks, so your toes, fit into their respective places. And what this does, the functionality of these socks, there's a lot of things. It helps prevent blisters because you don't have your toes rubbing right up against each other on the trail. They're separated, in between these, in between the material. It allows your entire foot to be engaged with the ground wherever you're walking. Your toes aren't all crumped together, and rubbing together. They're slightly separated, and it gives you that proper foot alignment. So you're starting off right there. It's fantastic. And then it also manages moisture. So your feet, they're going to be drier, and you're going to be a lot more comfortable. So these, like I say, these are the lines. They also have a product that they have hiker socks, and you put right over these socks. And those are about $20. I don't have a pair of those yet, but I will be getting one because I think they'll make it more effective. Because again, the liners, they're just there to start separating your toes and everything. You want something more heavy duty, and those are the hiker socks. But again, you can get these from REI. So those are the socks. Fantastic product. Have no bad things to say about these guys at all. Those are the Injinji socks. So let me give you a little bit of background on this next bit of gear I used. I, for the longest time, wanted a different pair of hiking shoes. For some hikes I've gone on in the past, I think that's one of the things where it's so important is proper footwear. I haven't always had a proper footwear, and it's bothered me, and I end up not enjoying the trail as much as I could have. So I wanted to try out a new product, and ran across these Hiitave shoes. Now, as you notice, these are the toe shoes again. So worn with the Injinji socks and these shoes, you feel that, I mean, you're walking, it's just your foot. You get to use all parts of your foot. It doesn't, crush your toes or anything. This is lightweight material. And so there's form, there's fit, and there's function. And these run about $50. You can find these around, you can probably find them a little cheaper, but they're very lightweight. They're breathable. So when your foot's in this shoe, you get the entire feel of just having your feet, but with the support of a shoe. Okay, so it's like the best of both worlds. They're, again, breathable, lightweight. They're easy to use. These laces right here, if you're on the trail, you don't have to spend a great deal of time tying shoes. It's like a drawstring, and you just tighten it up as you need, and then you can just tuck the lace, right in there like that. Very quick. You can adjust them. Easy, 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 easy. I love that feature. Really, that makes it a lot easier on the trail. They're shock absorbing on the inside, so again, my feet felt so comfortable, unbelievable. Love walking on these things, and especially on the Pipes Canyon Trail. Like I say, it wasn't a lot of ups and downs, but you did walk through some sand and some hard dirt and everything. My comfort was not compromised at all, because of just like the durability on the outside of these things. It's really good. The only con I felt, like when I do walk like on the rocks on the trail, like if they're big rock like that and you come across, you do feel it, but it didn't hurt. It just felt like your foot was just walking right over that rock, and it didn't hurt at all. Once I get out on some other trails with these things, I'm going to continue to evaluate that. But that's nothing compared to how these felt and how my feet felt. More importantly, how my feet felt after the hike. No more of the days where I come back from a hike and my feet are just killing me because I didn't have the proper footwear. These guys are good. That's the Hiitave. And again, with the products, with the Injinji socks, the Hiitave shoes, I'm leaving a link in the description down below so you can check these out for yourself. So, as you may have seen, this third product I'm wearing right here, these are REI Co-op sun gloves. Okay. The shell, the shell is 84% polyester, 16% spandex, and the palm is 100% polyester. Let me tell you, these are very comfortable. It helps prevent, like if the sun's beating down you, it helps prevent sunburns, because I know sometimes when we're adding sunscreen or things like that, or we're just worried about, my face, my neck, make sure I get my arms and stuff, but sometimes we leave off our hands, and sometimes our hands will get sunburned. So these help protect against that. Plus, not only that, if it's a little on the chilly side like my hike was, it took that bite away, so my hands were comfortable too. So they were nice and warm. But the most important thing to me, I think, in regards to that, using these things, a lot of functionality. Nothing was compromised. It's comfortable. I could pick stuff up. I can grab stuff. Whatever I need to do. I can open stuff. Whatever it was, These gloves did not hinder my activities in any way. Benefit all the way around, so win-win. And these, they're very functional. Again, all three of these products, all three of these pieces of gear that I have, I will be taking with me on every single hike I go. Okay, and down below in the description, I'm adding to building my pack. So check that out. If you guys want to see something sooner rather than later, leave a comment, and I'll see what kind of gear I have. And if I don't have that gear and I want to try it out, oh man, it gives me a good excuse to go to REI and pick up some stuff. So leave a comment down below. And these gloves you can probably find them on for about 20-25 bucks. Well worth it. Well worth it. So on that hike, you could see I took care of my extremities. All together, I really believe that if your hands and feet are comfortable, you're going to really enjoy things. So you show your extremities a little love, then you could show a little love, a little more love for nature when you're out there, because you're not uncomfortable at all. Again, I think you can get the Injinji liner socks, the Injinji hiker socks that I don't have, and also the Hiitave shoes and the REI sun gloves. You can get all of those for just around $100. But it'll be well worth it. I know that's seems a little bit expensive, but you have great footwear, and protection for your hands too, because that will pay dividends down the road on that. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to do something new here in a minute. You can see behind me that I have a map on the wall. And so I know a lot of times, different channels, they use the Google Earth and everything. And that's great. I love using that Google Earth program. But, I want to mark my trails. I want to see where I've been. I'm more of a visual person. I like that 3D. I like to feel and touch things. So I'm going to start marking my hikes on a map. And so we're going to do that in a minute. And hopefully you can see, obviously I figured out my video problem, and now hopefully I figured out my audio problem as well. So it's just, we're going to keep going up and up and up. So the journey continues. Stay tuned. My next video, I'm really putting these three pieces of gear to the test, because I'll be out at Ladder Canyon and Painted Canyon outside of Mecca, California. So watch for that. And I hope you tune in for that one. That'll be the video following this one next week. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. And if you would subscribe, that would be super cool. Like I say, the journey's just beginning. And I thank you so much for being here with me. I'm Mr. Dave for Mr. Dave's Outdoors Adventures. Get outside and be adventurous.